May the 4th be with you. That's right, it's Monday, May 4th, 2015, and you're listening to the Film Project Podcast, episode 77, The Pooch of Terminator 2. This episode is brought to you by Iron Go Brewing in Spokane, Washington, Kaufman & Associates at KaufmanInc.com, and O'Doherty's Irish Grill.
Okay, cool. Welcome, everybody, to the Film Project Podcast. We always got to start with that's the new it's rolling. We're rolling.
What?
We're recording.
No.
When people just burp into the microphone.
Oh,
it's great.
Yeah.
So yeah, welcome back to the Film Project Podcast. We're a conversational podcast that is an extension of the Spokane Film Project. You can find out all about us at SpokaneFilmProject.com. We're made possible by IronGoatBrewing.com. Jason, what are we drinking today?
We are drinking the Farmhouse Ale.
Nice.
Yes.
Farmhouse
very good.
Ale. What is describe that? Describe it for
You
our
asked me
listeners.
to describe it last time, and then I said it was a Belgian ale, and you're like, ah.
It's a Belgian,
that's
it's
exactly
a
what it
Belgian
is.
style ale
Yeah.
traditionally brewed for spring.
There you
we
go.
go.
And that would be Issac Joslin, our guest this evening.
That's true.
Well,
Wait,
see you later.
We're on YouTube now.
Oh, what? You're filming this?
We're filming.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sucker.
we're gonna digitally remove him though.
Yeah. And
That's
just
Jason's job.
We
Yeah.
should just made a wand mask for him.
Yeah.
I'll be replaced with Jar Jar Binks.
Oh, well, that'd be
the
good.
re-edit. Yeah.
It's so much better.
We'll just have Han shoot first and kill you under the table. I don't know how that works.
You mean one shoot first?
I don't know much about the Star War.
The Star Wars.
Yeah. So we're also made possible by Kaufman & Associates. They're at KaufmanInc.com. This is our beautiful, it's our new layout. It's so nice and fancy. What's our frame size, Brandon? Where are we at? Are we zoomed in or are we like super
320
wide?
by
Yeah,
240.
we're zoomed in. We're at about, I'm getting their backs, and that's just about it.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Bareback.
You're just getting their backs and nothing else?
Oh, yeah, nothing else.
Yeah. KaufmanInc.com. You want to check them out. And I'm one of your hosts. I'm Sean Springer.
This is Tom Deneen.
This is Jason McKee.
And we have a special guest host, Isaac. Isaac, introduce yourself.
I'm Isaac.
You've been on the podcast before on one of our trans-solar-centric episodes.
Yeah.
Tell us what trans-solar is.
It's a thing that people make me do sometimes.
It's going to be a great episode.
Yeah.
You're so descriptive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do have to say, I like the new the guns that you brought out for both Jason and I.
The guns?
Yeah, you brought out the guns for the introduction.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, yeah.
yeah.
So I point to you. Okay.
I was like, hey, he's getting all we're on
I had to
camera.
start flexing when you're like, the guns? What?
I thought you were talking literal guns, and I didn't know what you were talking about.
Yeah. And who do we got back on drums?
This is Brandon Smith.
They can't see you.
I thought he played bass.
That was the weirdest thing with watching it on YouTube. Did you guys watch any of the episodes on YouTube?
We
I
don't
started-
watch or listen to the podcast.
Why would
do we?
yeah? Why would I watch
We
or
live it.
listen to the podcast that we've done?
I don't know. Just to reminisce on better days.
Better days.
Really better.
Yeah. And Juan's not quite finished right now. Juan's not finished. He's making his way around the table. We'll see if he finishes by the end of episode 2.
I don't get that joke.
No, I don't either.
Yeah.
Yeah, Juan.
It's over my head.
Juan had a family
and on
function.
yours.
We scheduled these podcast recordings out, and Juan was the one who didn't want to record it on a certain week. So he said we should record it this week, and then he didn't show up. So
It's true. It's
well, so
So Jason's just gonna eat on the mic the whole episode. Isn't
yeah.
he? God,
No-
don't. I will leave this studio. You do not do that. I will leave the studio.
So he's apparently got some kind of weird phobia thing.
It's not a phobia.
It's a fetish.
It's an annoyance. It
yeah.
feels like someone's driving a screwdriver into this part of my head.
Just the smacking,
Yeah.
or just
Yeah,
knowing
the
that it's on
mouth,
microphone?
Mouth sounds.
Mouth sounds just
Like,
in general.
Okay. No,
Yeah.
yeah. Like Clancy on my podcast, the Saccast MoviePod. Saccast @gmail.com. Saccast.com.
Heck yeah.
There was an episode where he started out eating something on the mic, and then I struck him and pulled the food out of his mouth physically.
With
and-
your tongue?
No, with my fist.
Oh, okay.
Completely bald the entire time.
Yeah.
But I got it out.
how do you pull something out of a mouth with a fist?
He's got a really big head.
This is probably the most interesting podcast we've ever done.
So Saccast.com, that's Saccast MoviePod.
Sack?
Saccast.
Is that like S-A-C-K?
S-A-C-C-A-S-T, 2 C's. You've been doing that for a little while. I've guested on
Several
that once
years.
or twice. Once,
Yeah.
just once.
Just once.
Yeah. And what's the theme of that podcast?
Well, we talk about movies, and there are 2 iterations of it. There's the Saccast proper, where we talk about movies and movie news and review trailers and recent films generally.
Yeah.
And then there is the Sack to Sack spin-off podcast.
Is that S-A-C-K?
No, just
Oh, okay.
SAC. Because myself and another film lover, Issac Joslin, we talk about a single movie from whenever. It's just the idea is that we each pick a movie that the other hasn't seen, and then do an episode on each. And those are shorter than the normal Sackcasts. They're usually about a half hour.
Does that go through the same feed as the
Yeah,
Saccast?
it's all.
Okay.
If you subscribe to one, you get both.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I know I've listened to one of those before, but maybe I don't know. Maybe I glossed over it. I don't know. Or you don't do as many of those.
Well, I try to do one and then the other. But the Sack to Sack started much later than the normal Sackcast. So we were a good 30 episodes into the normal one before we started on the Sack to Sack.
So back in October, you did a whole episode on Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yeah, and Carl Dreyer's Vampire.
Yeah,
Vampire. We did a Halloween supersode, so that one's about an hour long.
that's cool. Yeah. So, and previous Film Project podcast host Adam Boyd shows up on there every so often.
Yeah, quite a bit.
Yeah, that's good.
More so now that the studio's in his basement.
Oh,
next to his homebrew kegs.
Oh, okay, all right. So you guys drink Boyd beer and talk about movies. That's how. I wonder where he got that idea.
Well,
Nice.
probably from me because my podcast started way before your guys.
That's true. We got more episodes though, so we ultimately we win.
Urgh.
That's what it's all about.
I go for quality over quantity.
Yeah. So I mean, briefly, we can talk about Transsolar Galactica. It's a web series that you're one of the main stars, along with Adam Boyd and Adam Harem and Jade Warpenberg. You guys were guests early on in this podcast,
But we've moved beyond you.
We've moved beyond. I guess where's that at right now? I know you guys did a Kickstarter a little while ago for season 2. That also included doing the origin episodes, which have come out and which were all amazing. We've also had you guys on when we did, we've had episodes dedicated to one of your live screenings that you had at the Garland. So, and I know the last time I was on set with you guys, you were doing the mini episodes. So are you able to give any updates to
Well, the mini
Transsolar?
episodes are nearing completion. So those will go out to the Kickstarter backers who donated enough to have their own dedicated mini episodes. And then after a while, we'll release them to the general public. And also, we are gearing up to do a spin-off series in preparation for the shooting of season 2, which will commence sometime after Z Nation wraps, because Z Nation is currently sucked up all of our normal crew.
Yeah, so sometime.
But the spin-off series will be simple enough that we can do it on weekends, and then give the fans something to
What happens if
suck
season
on
3 comes
while
around?
they wait for the season 2. What
What happens if season 3 comes around?
of Z Nation?
Yeah.
Well, the idea, I think, I'm not really the person to ask, and I'm probably talking out of school and gonna get in trouble later. But
I
hope
know there's
so.
a few things from what I've heard from
The
Sharon,
idea
there's
is-
a few things that you can't really talk about for a couple of different reasons. But
the idea is that we'll shoot it between seasons of Z Nation if it does in fact come back for a third season to Spokane.
yeah, that's awesome. That's really cool.
I mean, I'm currently working on Z Nation as well. I think everyone in this room is.
Yeah.
Except for our.
Well, he's not.
We're all
don't
tied
address
to
him
Z
and he
Nation
doesn't-
one way or
Yeah.
another, even if it's in the smallest unhelpful ways.
No, I don't think Brandon's tied to Z Nation at all.
Well, he has to support you. He has to give you the back rubs at the end of the long days, and
They're not back rubs.
front rubs. Yeah. So, and of course, we've talked about this briefly in the past. There's the Transsolar app that actually Tom and Brandon worked on. Did you not work on it?
It's
mostly Brandon?
I did very little.
He did modeling for it.
You did modeling?
Mhm.
Yeah.
What's,
I wore the green suit that they then super pixelated to get the 8-bit graphic kind of thing.
nice. Very cool.
I did the mocap. That's what I did.
Yeah.
And that's on the App Store. Brandon, what's the name of that exactly? I think it's called Bumblebot or sorry.
Bumblebot?
Bumblebot.
Wow.
I have it. I could probably look at it. It's actually a really cool game. I mean,
It's called Robot Rundown.
Robot
There we
Rundown.
go. There we
I
go.
was wondering how long.
Yeah,
you could take it.
pretty close though.
Bumblebot.
apparently I'm waiting for me to show up in the game, which may happen at one point or another. I don't know. I don't know if that's secret or
I'm not the person to ask about the game. I have little to nothing to do with it.
My one request of one of the
Erring on the
designers
side
was
of
that I
nothing.
wanted to be a playable character in the game.
Oh,
Or
you're
not,
gonna
not
be
playable.
you're-
I don't know if I'm playable, but I
You're
want to
not
be
playable.
character.
You're an NPC. You're gonna be in the game,
I'm very excited about
and
that.
I'm
I wouldn't be
excited
excited about it
seeing
if I were you, Sean.
you
No.
see yourself in the. It's gonna be.
You're going to be abused in
Oh.
more ways
Don't
than one.
say that.
Yeah, typical.
we were respectful.
And if anybody actually watches this on YouTube, there will be one frame on YouTube with Sean Springer.
Oh, you'll sneak it in?
I'll sneak it
What?
in.
Oh,
One
this
frame.
is this is
You'll have to
huge
find
deal.
it. Yeah.
That's cool. Very cool.
So I feel like we have no focus, more than normal.
We have
tonight.
a focus. We were
Okay.
talking about.
Well, we
it.
have some.
Okay, I was asked this morning to come onto this podcast.
No, it's not your fault. I'm not blaming you.
I made it clear from the outset that I had not watched any new movie since,
What was the last movie you saw then?
probably It Follows,
Okay.
which was apparently a big dud with you goons.
I really liked it. Juan did not like it. I
Juan
don't
doesn't
think-
like anything good.
No, Juan likes some good
One likes
stuff.
good stuff.
He casts a wide net and he doesn't
He likes
throw
My
away
Baby's
the...
a Vampire, or my baby's a
No, he
vampire.
didn't.
My
No.
babysitter's a vampire.
He
I
jokes
think
about
you
it.
might have
Yeah.
liked it more though.
No.
No.
I remember you gave
we
it a
didn't- we didn't-
4.75 out of 5.
No, Brandon and his
No.
wife and I, we watched
Go
it.
back
We didn't
and
even
check,
finish it.
Check the tape. You gave it a
We
4.75.
turned that off at like 20 minutes in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm amazed we got that far.
Let me put it this way. Juan casts a wide net that scoops up most things, but he eats the boot along with the fish. And the net's holes are too big to maintain the gold doubloons that he's also scouring, so he ignores those and denigrates them.
And then he gets caught in the 6-pack holders and drowns.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then dolphins come and raise his body up to the surface of the water.
It's kind of magical.
Yeah.
It's like the
Very.
Batman Returns.
Well, thanks for fucking up my beautiful metaphor. You.
Yeah.
I was going to say narwhals, but that gets a little too unicorn
So-
kind of reference.
So you said earlier you would defend It Follows. These guys didn't like it. I thought it was really interesting. I thought it was a great example of what you could do with like a $2 million budget.
And make it look like $200,000.
I don't
Shut your
think that's
mouth, T.
necessarily fair.
That
I mean,
movie was beautifully shot.
Yeah, I think it was.
I think it has 3 beautiful shots, and they reuse them
It's all of the
50
girls' butt.
times. Yeah.
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 I'm Jason McKee. I don't like a coherent visual style.
No, coherent means you use the same 3 shots over and over.
It can.
Not
You ever
really.
seen Stranger
Seven
Than
Samurai?
Paradise? Little Jim Jarmusch movie from the early
Yeah,
80s?
not a fan.
Minor. Oh, you
a fan.
fuck.
Oh, jeez.
okay.
Not a fan. And I will.
Then I can't talk to you like a human being
Not
because
a
I have
fan.
no way to relate with you. I'm sitting here. I have more in common with a house cat than I do with you right now.
It's actually true.
I think you've
You're-
always had more in
you're
common
making
with the
progress.
house cat than anything.
Yeah. Are you
So,
proud of that?
Attitude.
No. Yeah.
I feel like I'm just talking to a dumb animal that'll occasionally just like cock its head to the side.
See,
And,
that's
like,
how I feel about Jim Jarmusch films.
Are you a fan of all his films? I guess that'd be my question.
I like some less than others, but
Yeah.
I enjoy pretty much all of them that I've seen. I haven't seen his most recent few, so I think Broken Flowers is the newest Jarmusch I've seen.
That
That
was,
one was okay.
the most recent
but
one, I
it's-
think. Yeah.
I don't know. He bothers me a lot of
Do you
the time.
like Ghost Dog though, or Dead Man?
Again, they have all kind of.
They have
I
all
haven't
this
seen
subtlety
Ghost
and
Dog.
nuance. It just
No, I haven't seen Ghost Dog, but I've seen Dead Man, and I was not a huge fan.
Really? Dead Man's one of those films I remember liking it at the time, but it was kind of a hip indie film that I rented and I enjoyed, but I don't know. I don't really have much of a memory of it.
You know, he says he says that he will not watch any film that he's made, and I think he really should because he could learn a lot from it. It's honestly, I feel like Jim Jarmusch falls into the David Lynch category, and not in the style of film that they make, but that you're gonna find you either love them or you hate them, and you either fall on, people fall on either side of that. But I'm definitely, I have not found a Jim Jarmusch film that I've actually really enjoyed. I have found a few David Lynch films that I've enjoyed, but I'm not a huge David Lynch guy either.
Yeah, I can take or leave Lynch. I love Blue Velvet, but that's about it.
Yeah, Blue Velvet, and then there's some things about Mulholland Drive that I love, and then there's others.
There's about 7 minutes of that movie that I really like.
Jennifer Connelly scene.
Well,
Jennifer Connelly.
She's not in that.
You're thinking of Mulholland Falls, the Nick Nolte
really?
Jennifer Connelly movie. And
gosh.
yes, you do see her boobs in it.
Yeah. Okay.
But no, I feel like my recollection of Mulholland Drive is better than the film actually is. Like, I like the idea behind it.
Yeah, it's an indulgent mess.
Oh, and it's just it's very long-winded.
At least Jarmusch will usually bring it in under 90 minutes.
Yeah, but each shot is 87 minutes long. So there. That's my piece.
For those listening, I'm flapping my arms dismissively at McKee.
That's his.
And you look awesome doing it, by the way. You're on camera.
So
I wasn't told this would be a video podcast.
Yeah. So, what other film? Have you seen any other films?
We didn't
have a consensus.
I haven't seen any other films.
Have you only seen Jim Jarmusch films? There was a couple of films we were supposed to watch for the recordings. The big film right now, of course, is Avengers: Age of Ultron. And Tom, you saw it, and Brandon saw it.
Yes, came out. What'd you guys think?
I loved it except for the opening.
Okay.
The opening.
The opening sequence.
Can you say it without ruining it?
Yeah,
I think so.
It opens,
ruin the Avengers.
Well,
Ultron will try to ruin them.
It opens on a fight sequence that
it's like a James Bond movie almost. It opens up right into an action sequence.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in comparison to the previous films and even the fight sequences following, it just felt like it was very poorly composed. It felt like they skimped on the budget for the visual effects.
Well, okay. So what I've heard is that
for that scene, that's all I'm saying.
I heard Joss Whedon was bummed because he felt it was rushed, and
which part was rushed?
That the whole film.
The whole film. Okay, I was curious.
He felt that the whole film was rushed, and I expected. After hearing him say that, I expected pretty bad reviews, and it got pretty good reviews, and people have liked it. So
I would say there's a certain look to the Marvel films, and I'm sure there's hugely reported high budgets, but surprisingly, there's less effects in these movies than you'd think sometimes. You watch the original Thor movie, and they really don't have a ton of effects until the very end.
Not true.
I mean,
it's just like rainbow bridges and mythical gods.
No.
I mean, nothing too heavy
in the sense
on
of
the effects.
Yeah.
Watch the first Iron Man film. Obviously there's effects and action sequences, but they're pretty short sequences.
Are you talking about the big main obvious effects? Because there's tons of effects,
right? No,
that you would never know.
The stuff you can't see. No, I do understand that. I think. With this film, Joss Whedon came out early on and said, we can't outdo the first movie as far as large-scale fight sequences. And they don't. If anything, they've ramped them back quite a bit. The first opening sequence is kind of fun. I would call it a little choppy, if anything.
It doesn't feel like...
it's not...
It opens... shot selection, it just feels
It opens with a 3 or 4 minute one shot. Maybe it's not even that long, but it's a one shot of introducing all the Avengers that goes through this whole battle,
reintroducing them.
Man.
Yeah. In case that Captain Star guy.
Is it as good as Jupiter Ascending? The film.
I would say Channing Tatum's turn as Black Widow in this film makes you actually think Scarlett Johansson came back.
Oh boy!
For
Have
the-
have you seen Jupiter Ascending?
No.
It's beyond.
I haven't watched a Wachowski movie since Matrix 2 bukkakied me with terribleness.
So you
Yeah.
never
Yeah.
finished the trilogy?
No.
It is
Really?
beyond.
Why
Terrible.
would I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the third prequel Star Wars until years after it came out. And that's
Yeah.
just because I was at a friend's house and really drunk, and it was thrown on somehow.
No, I would say with,
Bukkake?
What?
Bukkake?
No, that's
Oh.
what
Oh, okay.
the Wachowski brothers.
Oh,
well,
sorry, I got
siblings
lost.
now.
I got lost
The
there.
Wachowski siblings did to
Thought
me.
you got drunk
in
and
the early aughts.
Bukkake was involved.
No,
Yeah.
no,
Okay.
no.
So I guess my thought of the movie is I think it's actually a better movie than the first one in the sense of I think they do a much better job. The first film, I think they did a good job of doing character service to everybody but Hawkeye, perhaps. This film, I think, spends a little more time giving every character a couple of good moments. I think they have a better story to it. I was just never as involved with some of the action pieces, and maybe I don't know if that's a rush or whether they're just not as interesting. I mean, just attacking the first sequence is them attacking this bad guy's fortress, like castle, for lack of a better word. It's not as interesting as fighting in the middle of the streets of New York. But Joss Whedon came out and said, we're not going to try to recreate that. We're actually going to try to do something that's a little more character driven. So I think it's a better script. I think it's a better movie, but I just didn't get into it as much. And I don't know. I think it's one of those hype things where, I'm a big fan of the Marvel movies. So maybe it'll replay better on other what was that? Flipping
Nothing.
me off?
What?
Yeah. I think it'll have more replay value, perhaps, than maybe just a little disappointment from the first viewing.
Yeah.
But and disappointment's not the right word. It was just I liked it, but I never felt like any of the action sequences. There was never that moment where the Hulk, does something crazy or whatever. When you watched Avengers, there was like 8 moments where the audience just like stood up and like cheered. This one,
Who'd you see it with?
no, it's not. No, like opening weekend, like everybody was really into that movie. There was
It was that scene with the jet when the jet was like firing into the helicarrier and he like just runs off and like jumps through. That was brilliant. That
Dude, it was
was
so rad.
So it's
so, dude.
Hella tight.
So
there is.
pitted.
I would say that there's a great moment with Hawkeye. There's a great kind of reveal that goes against everything you think these movies are about. And there's another great there. I mean, there is some death in this movie, and it was really well done. So I don't know what Tom thought as far as if you are going to kill off a major character. I thought it was really well done for the way they did
So the
it.
death was really well done. So they included the bowel evacuations,
Yeah,
which
no, it
is
was-
never seen
yeah.
in most movies.
Yeah,
No,
no, that's
they-
true.
Well, you see it in
That's where they
Unfriended.
spend most of their money. They travel into the canal
Yeah.
as it's coming out.
But
Right.
it's and actually maybe the villain maybe my number one problem
Don't
is
give it away.
no the
Not
villain
that I really care.
no the villain never really looks that convincing on screen.
Really?
So maybe that's a rush thing. Like and I just don't think Ultron's maybe not that interesting of a character.
He's just kind of pithy.
He's
Pithy.
it's like
It's hard to say that word without a lisp.
it's an interesting idea. Normally the
Are you saying
idea
pissy or pit?
Pithy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just kind of.
Okay, my question is one of the problems I've always had with these movies, and maybe this film answers it. What's it like when they have to poop in those super suits?
They just
Like-
go.
no Thor
It's like astronauts; they just go in the suit.
Thor has
they
a lot
can
of
talk to earpieces that don't exist.
It's butt
Like-
plugs.
Butt plugs.
See,
Yeah.
The suits have a built-in plug.
So if you
It
did,
transports it
so
to
all of
space.
them have at least 30 pounds of excrement backed up in their
It's
bowel.
either that or they have the butt plug that.
I'm
that
going to answer
transports
this.
it
I'm
to
going to
space.
answer this right now. Hawkeye goes just normal. He pulls his pants down and just goes. The Hulk uses it as a weapon. Iron Man.
I would pay to see
No,
that.
Iron Man actually has a dispensing system that like changes it back into energy for him.
Okay.
Thor has like several maidens that come and like carry it away on a little mini carriage.
Like one to wipe and one to carry.
Yeah.
What about Black Widow?
Black Widow just all over my face.
So
And
with
there we
Thor,
go.
with Thor, right? So is it like Mjolnir? Like no one can lift it unless they're worthy.
No, it's just poop.
Oh,
Come on.
but he's a Norse
it's
god.
It's not even like a good poop. It's like
probably,
a wimpy poop.
It probably really stinks.
Yeah,
It probably
well,
like
no. I would imagine he'd have. Well, he does eat a lot of meat.
Well, I imagine
Like-
that the
like
Rainbow Bridge
wild
just
game,
takes it and sends
you know.
it back.
yeah.
That'll give you some.
But it's
Sends it
but
to like.
you would think
Lothar.
it should be this majestic crap, but no, it's just a wimpy little poodle turd.
The effects of Ultron
that's disappointing.
the effects of Ultron never look like 100% convincing.
Really,
I didn't think so.
the trailers look good.
Well, I mean, that's
I don't know.
most like most CG effects anymore. You can pretty much tell.
That's the problem with that type of effect is that there's no other way to do it.
There's no way to
So
reference
at
it.
every turn, you know how they did it.
Yeah.
As opposed to like the Jurassic Park effect, where at every turn there's a different technique in
Yeah.
place.
Yeah, yeah.
You can't.
Yeah.
You can't
You
exactly
can't nail it down.
No. Now Jurassic Park 2 and 3 and hopefully
different,
not 4 did that.
Yeah.
But they did the opposite of that, which is went more with
Yeah, I mean, when you talk
or
to
at least
people,
it looks like they did.
when you talk to people about the first movie, a lot of people don't realize how much animatronic practical effects there are in
which
that
one?
film. The first.
Yeah.
Jurassic
Two,
Park.
two still had a
Jurassic
lot
Park.
of practical.
I
Two
know it
was
did,
good,
but there were a lot of areas where even if it was practical, like the puppeteering on the little dinosaurs that kind of hop, it just
You never felt right.
it didn't feel right. Whereas everything in the first one felt right.
Yeah.
So, do you think overall as a visual artist, visual effects artist, do you think that is
visual? I prefer visual interpretive
interpreter
artist.
artist? Yeah, interpretive dance
Yes.
artist.
Yeah.
Is part of that just bad preparation in the sense of they get to the set and they haven't done their homework and they're just like, oh, we'll just put some CGI in later, or is it just
I'm sure
the
there's
technology?
I'm sure there's a little bit of that just because you roll with the punches on set, but no, those shows are about as prepared as you ever could be.
I would imagine.
just-
I mean, it's super intensive to build a CG character from scratch,
Yeah.
right? So, I mean, there's never going to be enough time on a production schedule to like get it to look perfect. I mean, it's getting better and better.
Well, here's the thing too: is even when something's perfect, we've talked about it already. That there's no other way to do that. You know how it's done, but also sometimes not every shot is going to ever be able to look perfect.
Yeah.
If anyone is doing it the right way, it's those productions.
yeah.
They're not going to set not knowing what they're going to do. Now, I'm sure that it's just like any other film. They got to roll with punches that they couldn't have ever planned with. But no, it's just sometimes the way the light is hitting, even though you have everything you need,
all the reference?
everything you need, it just doesn't look as good as another. And that comes down to a lot of things. That comes down to preparation. That comes down to execution, so compositing, and that comes down to a lot more stuff. But it really what it boils down to is what we were talking about earlier, that there's no other way to do that.
Yeah.
Unless you were to, I mean, some things you can't even kind of approach from a practical standpoint.
Yeah.
There's no way to do anything with it practical. So it's, we're looking at it and we know it's fake. So we already know. So then you're looking at it from a tainted view.
Yeah, we don't have the wonderment of a child to see this.
No.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, and it doesn't go the other way like the old Ray Harryhausen movies where the monsters were obviously fake, but that was part of their charm.
Yeah.
Because it was still photographs of physical objects.
I would say that is, it's Ray Harryhausen, but it's also what was successful in Star Wars, the original. No one looked at that and thought that is like that's
you could see
models,
matte lines everywhere.
Yeah, or I'm just talking about the guys in suits.
Yeah.
Everyone knew that that's how they did it, but
Yeah.
what's preferable?
Yeah.
That or the at the time still fairly well done CGI Yoda, but it's completely crap and it looks like crap
Yeah.
because it's fake and you showed that you could do something
Wait.
But on the other-
are we talking about? Are we
Episode
talking about
one.
Okay.
versus the original.
Well, in episode
which
one,
was
they
a
actually
Muppet.
used Puppet Yoda, but he
Yeah.
looked out of place, seeing as everything else was
Also
CG.
CGI, yeah.
So then,
No.
in
So,
episode one. and
Episode 2 is when they switched him over to.
Oh,
Why do
okay.
I know this? No more Star Wars.
So I guess I could say, had they had a mix of practical Ultron and a CGI, I think it
I
would
would
sell
be
the character a
surprised that
little
they
bit more.
didn't. I mean, how hard is it?
I don't
to
think there's
have
ever a
the
practical
occasional
Ultron. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see the cosplay that they posted? Like they
No.
I think it was an Asian company that
Of
they
course,
were
it was an Asian company.
well, no, they were having like one of those opening screenings, and they paid for this company to actually come out, like build
Yeah.
a really nice practical,
We'll
and
get through
it
this
was
together.
somebody in a costume looking like Ultron. It looked pretty awesome.
But see, that's
Well-
like so a good example would be Iron Man.
Yeah.
So they always have him in parts of the suit.
Yeah.
But not a full suit. The rest
Right.
of the suit, sometimes they would have him in mostly a suit, but
Yeah.
a lot of times it's just the helmet, and then the rest is CGI. But at least
It
they
helps
have
sell it.
something.
It helps sell everything.
Yeah.
I'm curious
And
if they
helps-
motion captured though, because there was a lot of James Spader. I noticed that they actually made the
Yeah, I'm
lips
sure
move and
they
his
had-
head
yeah.
cocks, because I've been watching The Blacklist a lot. So
His
I've been seeing him.
character-
So,
You know that Spader
so I
head
know that
cock.
like Spader look, because he's always tilting his head,
Yeah.
and then
Guarantee-
Ultron kept tilting
Yeah.
his head, and I'm
I
like,
guarantee
whoa.
they did. And it's the thing too that's always frustrating is with the critique that it doesn't look as good as it should, is that stuff is incredibly difficult to do.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the artists really did knock it out of the park with
Right.
that stuff.
Right.
But it still goes back to when every decision you make is to do things the CGI fake
It'll
way,
always, yeah.
then you're looking at a one trick pony.
Yeah.
As opposed
Spider-Man.
Spitterman?
Spider-Man is not, yeah. And I guess
Yeah.
the character of Ultron was interesting. I think the last thing I'd say about the movie is there's a general plot. Anytime there's a film about technology, it's always about the technology is going to rise up and eradicate all the humans. There's this fine line of, a lot of these blockbusters, that will be the storyline and they'll hit you over the head in every scene. And it doesn't quite do that, but it never quite made it Ultron's motivation. Everybody off screen kept saying Ultron's trying to destroy the human race and he's going to eradicate us all. But you never quite felt like Ultron was saying that with what he was doing.
Well,
so that was
talking about.
Well,
machines-
Matt Springer said that was the last thing.
that was the last thing.
That's the
Yeah.
last
well,
thing.
last
Moving
thing for
on.
me at least.
No,
I'll let
this
Tom
is a
give
segue.
the rest of
Last
his
This is
thing.
a segue. This is a segue. So, talking about machines rising up and destroying humans,
Oh.
the trailers for Terminator Genesis.
Oh, geez.
And have you guys seen the most recent extended trailer that they released?
Oh, it's horrible. And Jason will have a lot to say about it because the thing Jason keeps bringing up
He has
is-
a murderous look in his face.
Yeah.
Right now.
He's mad. No, they can see it now.
He's like, don't
You
talk to
have
me
turn-
about Terminator
well,
Genesis.
my issue and
Is the spelling of Genesis?
Genesis.
Yeah.
no, the problem that I had, and Brett and I, we were immediately reflecting on this when we went to see Avengers: Age of Ultron.
They just walked out of the theater right after the trailer and talked about it for 20 minutes.
No. How much they showed.
Yes.
How much they showed.
That was a complaint
for
that I listened to on a podcast. They were like, I can't believe how much they're showing for
Oh, yeah.
plot
this.
points.
Yeah.
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 It's completely spoiled.
That's
They
just trailers
should
anymore.
not. I mean, now it could be they have not completely spoiled it.
There
and
might be
they're,
another twist, yeah.
catfishing us or something. But it just, you're like, oh, well, now I
They're
know
gonna set you
what
up
they're
with a fat
doing
chick?
here.
well, and
Oh, it's kind of like that.
the frightening part about that is that this is part one of a trilogy that they're trying to put out. So
Right.
that's,
I thought it was part.
Kind of like
5
how
of
Terminator
a
Salvation
quadrant.
was part one of a trilogy.
right. Yeah. I don't know how
This
that
is
went.
from the director of the second Thor movie.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's second Thor.
I
was
like
an
the
awful.
second
I
Thor
couldn't
movie,
sta-
but
I couldn't stand it.
That's a valid opinion.
I
I won't give you shit about that.
Did they have the giant hell dog at the end of the first Thor or the second Thor?
what do you
Second.
mean when you say
Hell
hell
dog.
dog? At the very, very end?
Yeah, at the very, very end.
That
where
was
The
part
first
two.
Thor was the one that
two.
was a remake
Okay.
of Masters of the Universe.
Oh, which
that
is a
was-
really
Yeah.
good, which
Well,
actually holds
wait.
up.
And then the second one was the one where I enjoyed just the nuttiness of the final battle that they were going through all the portals and crap.
Yeah.
Just because it was
really
so
like that,
bonkers. And I enjoy bonkers.
But your opinion on the Terminator Genesis trailer?
I think it looks like crap. You know, it's like...
The effects look worse than they did in 91.
That's the thing. How did they do the effects? Well, it was 92, wasn't it?
91.
Well,
It
it was so much more practical.
Terminator 2 did.
There wasn't.
my
I don't
God.
think
Terminator 1 was 84, and it was the best.
the
of
T
all of them.
1000
Terminator
wasn't
1?
practical.
Yeah.
No. Like
I
a
like
lot of
Terminator 2
the the
better.
battle
Yeah.
damage he took, they would do
We're having two
casts
conversations.
and molds of him, like with the hole in the head.
Oh no, I know what you. Okay, I see what you mean. But there was there. Yeah,
I just
there was
have
a little more practical.
I have a hard time with anything. Yeah, I don't know.
The shot of
Terminator and Terminator 2 are kind of like it for me for the Terminators. And this, it just feels like they're getting worse.
What?
3 was not bad.
I would agree with that.
Wait.
yeah.
Three-
The name of my last Saccast MoviePod was 132 because that's the order that I like the Terminator films.
Oh,
Nice.
What
Come
happened
on.
in the
That's
what
what they
happened
said.
in the third one?
The third one is the one that negates all that horse shit from Terminator 2 where the little
fate
kid was
or
like, there's no fate but what we make for ourselves. And then Terminator 3
I
is
don't
like,
know if
no,
he says
the
that, doesn't he?
world's... Yes, he does.
He says easy money.
Yeah.
well, he says a lot. He says like cowabunga and stuff.
Does not say
He's the
cowabunga.
Poochie of Terminator 2. He's just
Well, it
annoying,
was the
obnoxious
90s.
character.
I mean,
It doesn't matter.
It was-
Pulp Fiction came out in the 90s. It's no excuse. Okay, anyway, I was saying Terminator 3, I enjoyed just the dark, cynical view that the nukes got launched anyway. I prefer Nick Stahl to Edward Furlong. And the hilarious... the female Terminator was hot. And the hilarious slapstick of the Terminators fighting each other on fire trucks and stuff. Every time they got hit in the head, it goes clang.
To be fair,
the entire tone of that film was wrong. It's all shot during the day. It's completely different than 1 and 2.
to be fair, Edward Furlong prefers Nick Stahl to Edward Furlong. Just so you guys know.
Probably.
It did have a different tone in the sense of I did like Terminator 3 just as an action film and as not trying to one up Terminator 1 or 2. I actually enjoyed it. But there was this sense of the whole first 30 minutes is actually kind of almost a parody of a Terminator movie or like a parody of some of the jokes from Terminator 2.
Yeah.
And I didn't necessarily like that, but the rest of the movie I'm okay with.
Well, all series become parodies of themselves if you string them out long enough.
That's what this podcast has become.
I will tell you,
The James Bond films, once Roger Moore showed up, he was like winking at the camera and like
nudge, nudge.
the one-liners took over everything. You know, the Planet of the Apes movies are all great.
They are. They really are.
So my order of Terminator films are Terminator 2, Terminator 1, Terminator 4's trailer, and Terminator 3 and 4 are probably the same, and then this one is probably last.
I saw Terminator Salvation in theaters, and I randomly got the Blu-ray for $1.99 the other day.
You didn't randomly get it.
No, it was just there.
You paid money for that. That was a very deliberate action.
I wanted to watch the director. I wanted to watch the director's commentary. I figured for $2.
Why would you care what McGee had to say?
It was buy one, get one free. Hocus Pocus was what he paid for,
that's-
and he got that one for free.
I did that with Blazing Saddles and Caddyshack once.
Well, that's an actual valid reason.
No.
Yeah.
Not Hocus Pocus and
Hocus Pocus. Yeah.
But I would say with Terminator Genesis, I like
Genesis.
I like the concept of what they're trying to do, but it's sold so poorly. I like the idea of the story of the entire universe being resetted because of something that happened in the past. I think that's interesting, but it looks like crap. Like it looks like a TV movie.
I think Daenerys Targaryen looks weird with brunette hair. Even though that's her natural hair color.
Yeah.
She does look
I'm
weird.
not used to it. I'm so used to the Mother of Dragons having, silvery blonde hair.
Nerd.
If you stay around for another
I don't
episode,
deny it.
If you stay around for another episode, we should just have a whole Game of Thrones episode.
I'm not staying around for another episode because I have to go watch Game of Thrones.
Oh, that's right.
I haven't seen. I'm 3 seasons in.
Yeah.
No.
So, but
Did you get to the part where they finally meet the 7 dwarves?
I did actually. It was cool.
It had a
was
whole
very good.
crossover with Once Upon a Time
Yeah.
and Frozen.
Oh, great. My
And then the
three
Ring of
favorite
Kings
things.
came.
I like that you called it the Frozen.
Frozen.
Like an old
Frozen.
Jewish man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, this is like the 7-minute break where we all just.
There we go. Let's yeah.
So anyway, yeah, Terminator. The thing that confused me about it was like I don't know. There's so many Terminators in play because there's like the fake Sarah Connor Terminator.
How do
there's
none of them
old and
succeed?
young Arnold Schwarzenegger.
You mean fake John Connor?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Fake John Connor, old and young Arnold Schwarzenegger
Yeah.
fighting each other.
There's
then
the
there's the
liquid metal
Asian
guy.
guy that's
Yeah.
liquid metal.
I'm just curious how none of them have actually succeeded in
Yeah.
their time traveling.
Why don't they just go back further?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
just kill.
Well, I
Like,
think this.
Well,
film,
okay,
they
if you
clearly
start
are.
looking
Yeah.
for plot holes in a time travel movie, you're never
There's
going
your
to
problem.
They could
stop
go
the
back
conversation.
further.
But no,
to a
but they
weaker
can't.
parent.
They cannot go back further because there has to be this progression that leads towards the creation of.
no, but they could have just.
Skydive.
He could have just gone a generation back
Mhm.
and killed
Kill-
the weaker
kill-
parent that hasn't trained.
Yeah.
But Skydive
Or
only
you could go to like a time when they just have
Well, I
muskets.
guess- I guess
Skydive
Sarah Connor
only
hadn't
developed
trained in the
Skynet
first one.
because of the chip that came out of the initial
Yeah,
Arnold
yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
the initial Arnold Schwarzenegger's head that was mashed in the.
But then
Again-
that begs the question: if the creation of Skynet is contingent on finding the Terminator set
don't
back,
think it
how
is.
does
I
the
don't think
Terminator
it
get
is.
there in the first place?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just don't go back.
Just
Then.
don't-
If they
yeah.
know this, no, they don't know that. They find it out as they go, right?
I don't know, man. It's like
Everybody
it
on
all
YouTube
comes
can
back
now
to the
see how
Planet
Tom's
of the
just like,
Apes films.
I'm telling you,
The time travel in that
most
is even
recent
weirder.
Planet of the Apes films is one of the best films I saw.
Oh, totally.
Last
Yeah,
year,
hands
We're
down.
agreed.
fantastic.
in the current Planet of the Apes franchise, do you think they'll ever introduce time travel?
Well, they
In the current one,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, here's how it works. All right,
Current
Oh
one
no
is
no no!
based
Here's the thing.
closer
I
to
do understand
reality.
that it is a prequel to the 1960s
it's not.
one.
It's not a prequel per se. It is in the sense that it shows how the apes originally took over the world before the time travel in the original series,
Yeah.
right? Because what happens is Chuck Heston lands on the planet, finds out it's Earth at the end. Then beneath the Planet of the Apes, they blow up the world in a gloriously insane 70s ending, a rated G movie where they destroy the world.
nice.
Yeah. And then in the next one after that, somehow some of the scientist apes have procured the spaceship from part one, and they somehow soup it up to go back in time to the early 70s, right? And their progeny, because they die horribly at the end of that one,
No.
but their progeny,
Spoilers.
shut up. Their
had
progeny
42
goes on
years.
to lead the ape insurrection. So what these the movies now are doing are showing you how the apes originally took over the world
Right.
before the Kajig.
For the dark times.
No. Because they actually show the launching of Chuck Heston's ship in
Right.
part one of the new series.
So we can expect the all CGI Chuck Heston in a future one, but hopefully they use a practical Chuck Heston as well.
Old Chuck Heston from Bowling for Columbine is going to fight young Chuck Heston that marched with Martin Luther King.
And the apes just put pictures of like little kids like all around like his
The
hut.
apes can do whatever the fuck they want because I love them.
That's true.
Monkey love.
Do not call them monkeys. They are great apes, and you will address them as such.
You damn dirty apes.
He called
So
him
this
ape.
is like your
Personal
holy
hell,
grail.
yes.
This is your
What?
holy
Oh.
grail. The Planet of the Apes films.
No, I just love them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, my opinion is I do have an agenda in that I love apes in general.
In like what way?
In like I'll watch any which way but loose.
Okay.
Every which
What
way but
about
loose
Ed?
and any which way you can.
Ed, is that with a friend?
I thought
That's
that-
with one of the friends,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's well, I'll watch
Matt
MVP
LeBlanc.
Most Valuable Primate. You
Which
know,
we talked about the other
Dunstan Checks In is a favorite of mine.
day with Paul Rubens.
Yeah.
Yeah, Monkey
Yeah.
Trouble with a young Thora Birch.
Why did you have a weird look in your eye when you said that?
What Thora Birch is that? what
A
his
young
name?
Thora Birch, though.
Yeah.
You had to make sure to.
No one quite knows where she went.
No, they know exactly where she went. Her father was too much of a chode and made her such a hassle to hire that no one does anymore.
You know a lot about
what do
Thor.
you mean?
Her
Why do you
parents,
say- Yeah, he
her
does.
parents are both former porn stars.
Oh, really?
that is
Yeah.
right.
Oh, I
Deep
have
Throat.
heard that. Yeah.
Deep Throat. That's
Oh.
her parents.
You do know a lot about Thora Birch,
Yeah.
especially a young Thora Birch.
Young Thor Birch.
I just know that she was in Monkey Trouble.
Yeah.
What?
What?
And American Beauty.
Well, yeah, but she wasn't that young then.
She was still too young.
She was
old enough to show her boobs.
She was 17. That's the
Nice.
story that always comes
15.
out. No, 17 was
wasn't
the story that I
15.
always read.
Well, look at when was she born and when was that film?
See, I'll find it.
the key's
made.
gonna get to the bottom
Now
I'm
of this.
telling you, she
Now
was
it's-
not 17. I don't
She
think
was.
so.
That was the story. I'm not going to look it up because it'll just my
I'm
image
sick.
search. My image search is already full of barely
You don't
legal
want to know.
girls.
You don't want to see what'll pop up when you search for.
Are you excited
Thor
about Suicide Squad? Look
No.
at that. There's a picture of Will Smith as Deadshot.
They just released the entire cast.
I did. It was kind of
wow.
interesting.
Yeah.
So wait, Suicide. That
Suicide Squad
oh, that's
is
not the one with
it's with Will Smith.
the Warp Tour groupie. The what's his name?
Jared
Jared
Leto.
Leto as
Jared
a Warp
Leto
Tour
is
groupie.
playing the Joker. Yeah.
in Suicide Squad.
In Suicide Squad, yeah, that's the
what's
cast.
terrible.
There's Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. I don't know half the other characters.
If you're looking at it on Facebook, I was reading
Yeah.
a thread and people are like, "Is DC even trying with this? Like, it doesn't even look."
Look, David Ayer's a very talented director.
and I
but
agree, yeah.
I don't like anything I've seen.
Who?
From
Wait,
this.
what did he do?
He did?
He did End of Watch.
End of Watch and Fury.
Yeah,
And I haven't seen the other one that he did with
with Schwarzenegger, right?
Schwarzenegger, but it was,
Oh,
it was okay.
Sabotage.
But it was supposed
okay.
to not be good, right?
It was okay. It was unfortunately it was hold on. Hey mom, can you come pick me up after the podcast?
I haven't seen
Amateur.
any of his movies.
It was
End of Watch is fantastic.
Yeah, end of
But
Watch.
I don't like that Guylian Hall
Gyllenhaal?
Yeah.
Why?
yeah.
because he just rubs me the wrong way. Don't like him.
Just like Miles Teller.
Yep. Don't like him. Never will.
Miles
You're
Teller.
acting.
You didn't like? Did you not like Whiplash?
I didn't watch it, but I will because it's J.K. Simmons throwing chairs at him the whole movie, right?
That's
It's
the
a
entire
great,
film.
That really is a great
If
film,
it's
though.
him in turmoil for 90 minutes, I'm all for it.
Then watch it because it is.
See, I'm torn with Jared Leto because he annoys the shit out of me, but he tends to meet a grisly end in almost all of his movies, or at least get the crap beat out of him. When Dwight Yoakam shot him in the face in Panic Room, I was so happy. Dwight Yoakam, I just love.
Everybody just reflects on that for a moment.
Dude, Dwight Yoakam's a great actor.
Yeah.
He is a really good actor.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was really.
He had to
same
pump
with-
out all that shitty music to get to his acting career. I'm fine with it. Just vindicated. Vindicated.
I've seen Tim McGraw in one thing that I thought he was good in too. I've only seen him in one.
Tim
thing.
McGraw's a sentient mannequin.
Have
What?
you
A
se-
what?
Friday Night.
A
he was good.
sentient mannequin.
Friday Night, he was good in Friday Night Lights. Have you
Okay.
guys seen that?
Yeah,
I'm
it's
talking
been a
about
long
the
time,
movie,
yeah.
not the TV show.
No,
I only
care.
watched the first 8 seasons of the TV show on DirecTV.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well, so what are you up to, Tom?
I'm looking for pictures of the Suicide Squad.
Thor
Any
versus
movie
Thor
about
Birch.
white Southerners that isn't like ridiculously dehumanizing, I don't really dig.
Yeah,
Yeah. Anything
I
north
hear
of
you.
Deliverance, not interested.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what movie are you excited for in 2015?
Me, Mad Max Fury Road.
Yes, I
Looks-
think we
looks
are all
really
in
good.
agreement on that one.
That's
Also,
2
there's
weeks from now,
Yeah,
May 15th or
May-
something
yeah.
like that.
There's a new Miike film coming out in Japan called Yakuza Apocalypse, and I'm pretty excited for it too.
Yeah.
that doesn't sound very good.
Well, you look like a
Yakuza
show.
Apocalypse.
What? How does that not sound good? What about the 2 words? Which one doesn't pique your interest?
No,
Yakuza or Apocalypse?
together? No. Separate?
What
Fine.
about what if it was Apocalypse Yakuza?
No. Together? No. Separate? Fine.
What about X-Men Apocalypse?
Separate? Fine. Together? No.
Okay, so let me give you the skinny on the plot for Yakuza Apocalypse, right? There's this low-level Yakuza lackey who likes his boss very much, but then it turns out that his boss is a vampire, right?
Oh God! All right, I'm done.
Then his boss is being killed, but he bites the lackey before he dies, so he becomes a vampire and goes on a rip-roaring cavalcade of revenge.
Cavalcade, rip roaring.
But
that sounds very
from the
Japanese.
It
to
is
me.
directed
90s.
by Takeshi Miike,
Okay, yeah,
who, have you seen Audition?
yeah.
Ichi the
I've
Killer,
seen Ichi, yeah.
Visitor Q.
Yeah.
The guy knows his shit, and he does bonkers incredibly well.
Yeah.
But is it? I've actually not seen either of those. I mean, I've obviously heard of them.
I named
I'd be curious
five
what you think
Aren't
of Ichi.
they? They're pretty heavy on the gore, right?
Occasionally. I mean, he does
Well,
everything.
that's the thing with
Did you see
Audition.
13 Assassins?
No, I want to. I want to see all
That
these
was
films. I
him.
just haven't seen them.
Oh.
But
He's too busy watching the trailer of Terminator Genesis.
I just keep watching it. I'm just so
He shakes his head and cries.
no.
Oh, well.
No.
All right. well,
Miike is one of my favorite filmmakers, and he
Really?
cranks out so many movies, it's impossible to keep up with him.
yeah.
He does
Well, you
like
should-
5 a year.
You should give
Yeah,
us a
it's
film
crazy.
you should assign us a film that we'll talk about on a future episode.
Oh, yeah?
What it's got to be on Netflix.
It's got to be one that we
something
will
that's on
actually
Netflix.
watch.
It has
though.
to be on Netflix, huh?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, I'll get back to you on that, and then
Okay.
you can say that it was me that inflicted
Yeah, no,
it
for
on
sure.
you.
For sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we're going to cut this episode a little short. We're Juan-less, so there's less people to interrupt us, so we actually get what
Yeah.
we're trying to say out at a good time.
Want us interrupt us?
Want us to interrupt us. So, all right, we want to definitely thank our sponsors,
We're already
IronGoatBrewing.com. We're already
I
done.
didn't even threaten anyone's life yet.
You can stay around for
You
another
can still
episode.
throw
We'll
I'm
make
not
you.
Tom's life.
It's no, I gotta go get to my Game of
It
Thrones.
doesn't
part.
start till 9.
Yeah, but I don't like
Did you walk here? Did you walk here,
I
actually?
rode my bike.
Cool. Nice. IronGoatBrewing.com. They're our sponsors. They provide us with the beer. How was your beer?
Oh, I love Iron Goat.
Yeah.
They're my favorite.
And Iron Goat's been very good to the Transsolar people, too. You want to check them out at transsolargalactica.com. It's Saccast MoviePod. That's 2 C's.
Oh, not okay.
There's
Okay.
that's
No
for
K.
the third time. No,
Okay.
no K.
Oh,
Kaufman and Associates. That's our beautiful studio here. Brandon set up the tables all nice and neat. Oh, I don't know where Juan will go next time. Not exactly
probably
sure.
back there. But if we have multiple people, I don't know.
Just
You
realized
can't
that was a
stand there.
strategy of mine. So,
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Eliminated, cut the fat.
Yeah.
And O'Doherty's Irish Pub and Grill in Spokane.
Oh, hey, look, Girl Walks Home Alone at Night's on Netflix. Everyone watch that shit.
I have not seen that.
You didn't watch
It
it?
is-
You didn't
no.
go to the midnight screening?
No, I
Well,
It was
Deneen likes
fantastic.
it, so it probably sucks.
really? I'll add
Yeah.
it to my queue. There we go. Done.
Boom.
Yeah, so the O'Doherty's Irish Pub and Grill, they help support the Spokane Film Project. Find out all the stuff we're doing at SpokaneFilmProject.com. We should give a shout out on May 8th is the album release for Wild Card. He's a local
Card?
rap
A
artist.
wild card.
No, for Wild Card.
Wait, is
you
Wildcard
said-
Wildcard going to be on the podcast?
At some point he will be, yeah.
Nice.
At some point he will be.
Can I come
Yeah.
back for that?
Yeah, for sure.
I love
Good
Wildcard.
friend to all of us, and many of us, I think maybe all of us have worked on a video of his.
No.
You've helped edit one, right? Or are you editing one?
I
or-
edited 2 of them of these 3, and then
Yeah.
did a bunch
Yeah.
more stuff. But yep.
Yeah, so May 8th, he has a show at the Knitting Factory. So make sure you go check that out. So by the time you're listening to this or watching this on YouTube, then check. I think he's at wildcardqm.com. And anything else we want to shout out?
I'm coming up with a blank.
Oh, okay. Well, cool. Juan usually has the list of plays that are playing in town.
Art shows.
Art shows. Some good art shows. Check out.
Art.
Art's the
yeah.
worst.
Art is just
Yeah.
the worst.
Oh,
Art-
it's terrible.
Yeah.
No.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you guys. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Eat it.
That's rude.
Okay. We cut.